Hi guys, welcome to my podcast Serenity. If you're new here, it's G, short for Jahan, but a lot of people struggle to say that name for some reason, and so I decided to shorten it to G. There is a high-pitched noise I'm aware of, I don't know what it is, and I don't know how I can get rid of it, so I do apologise. But today I did decide to talk about friendships, so stick around and you get to hear about all my toxic friendships. So yeah, let's just get chatting away. Right, so I've been in a fair amount of friendships, and a lot of them have resulted in me not being friends with the person anymore. I've kind of always had bad luck when it comes to friendships. I know that when I was back in primary school, I had this one friend and she was quite controlling. I I don't even remember how I became friends with this person, but I remember being friends with her and it was just really stupid things really. It was like she wanted to be the boss of me and she would never let me do anything that I wanted to do. And we were friends all the way up until year 6, and then when we went to different secondary schools and we never heard from each other again. So that was cool. That was one friendship. And then I remember in primary school, I had another friendship where I was friends with these two girls, but they didn't let me have another best friend. They were like, no, only we can be your best friend. You can't have another one. And if you have got another best friend, then we don't want to be friends with you anymore. Not sure what that was all about. Didn't make sense to me then. Doesn't make sense to me now. But I remember when they told me, and I was like, what the heck? Like, why can't I have more friends? It was, primary school friendships are always quite interesting. But the more, I don't want to say serious, but it was like the more like intense friendships where we had like actual fights was when I was in secondary school. And I was friends with this one girl. Let's call her Sandra. Sandra was one of my very first friends that I had made in year 7, and I thought she was a good friend, but I only thought that because she was my first friend. And I remember once it was pouring down with rain, and Mum was like, I'm gonna be late, ask your friend, ask Sandra if you can go to her house and then I'll pick you up. It'll only be a couple of minutes late, so it's not like you're gonna be there for a long time. I asked Sandra, she said, my parents aren't gonna let you into the house, but you can wait in the doorway. Now we were supposed to be best friends, so I don't know. Like, I remember her saying that to me, and it just didn't make me feel good. I was just like, oh, like, I felt really unwanted. I'm like, bro, this is literally the only time I'm asking to come to your house, and I only wanted to come because I had to, because obviously I didn't have a house key, and it's pouring down with rain and my mum's asked. Like, the least you could do is just be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. So I told my mum was angry, and mums in general tend to spot fake friends and toxic friends before you do. And my mum already said, oh, I don't like her. And after this situation happened where she didn't let me into her house in the pouring rain, my mum, like, her judgment was spot on, confirmed it. She was like, I don't want you to be friends. She's not a good friend. And I have a friend, I think I could say her name because I'm friends with her now, Anna. We were friends in year 7 as well, year 7, year 8. And the way we became friends was literally, I don't know how we started hanging out, but I remember that once on the field, Sandra and Anna, we were all together, and then me and Anna wanted to go out onto the field, and Sandra was like, no, I don't want to go on the field. I want to go to the main playground. And I remember being stuck in the middle, and then Anna was like, gee, do you want to, like, are you coming? And Sandra was like, are you coming? Like, you either go with her or you come with me. And at that point, I was like, you're seriously going to make me pick? And I was like, okay, bye, Sandra. And I went with Anna, and we've been friends ever since. So that was kind of crazy. Well, not really, but it was crazy in a way because I remember me and Anna were always hanging out with each other ever since, and we became really good friends. I know that Anna's friendship group kind of ditched her. They weren't very nice to her. They ditched her. So she basically had no one. I had no one. And we kind of became each other's friend. And ever since then, we've been like sisters. So that's been nice. It was nice to have someone consistent. And then Sandra actually texted me this long paragraph, and she was like, "I'm not gonna be your backup best friend. I've been a backup best friend for this other girl, and I'm not gonna do the same to you." And she basically said all this waffle in this paragraph, and then she ended it with saying, "Don't come back to me when Anna ditches you." Well, honey, it's been like almost 9 years, and me and Anna are still very much friends. So now what? Then me and Anna became friends with this other girl. I'm not friends with her anymore, and I'll talk about that friendship. I'm going to give her the code name Debbie. So me, Anna, and Debbie became friends, and it was whatever. And I don't know, I just felt like I was beginning to outgrow Debbie, which is normal. People outgrow each other, friendships outgrow, like it's fine. It's a normal part of growing up, and it's okay, it happens. The way you deal with it depends on how that friendship ends, whether it ends on good terms or bad terms. This definitely ended on bad terms. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, none of it was my fault, but I feel like Debbie could have managed it a lot better, but she didn't. I went to Anna and I was like, I think I'm outgrowing Debbie. Anna honestly started laughing, and I was like, okay, it's not really the reaction I was expecting, but I don't know what reaction I was expecting from Anna, but she started laughing, and then she kind of realised, and I know that Debbie's behaviour she was just doing things that would annoy me, and I feel like that's why I felt like I was outgrowing her. Like I keep saying, outgrowing someone isn't a bad thing. It just means that you're growing up as a person, and how you deal with outgrowing your friend is what determines whether you end on good or bad terms. Debbie was an alright friend. I'm not going to say she was a complete bad friend, but if you're best friends with someone, you tell your best friend everything, right? Or you at least tell them more than you would tell a friend. And she got this piercing done. She told everyone about it, and she told Anna about it, and I wouldn't have cared if she hadn't have told me. I would have been like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. What annoyed me the most was that Debbie said to Anna, oh yeah, I got it done, don't tell Jahan. That's what annoyed me the most. Like, it's one thing to not tell me, and I would have been like, oh, okay, like, I would have been hurt for a little bit, like, whoa, you told her, but you didn't tell your other best friend, like, whatever. But what really did annoy me was when she was saying, don't tell Jahan, because it meant that she didn't care that everyone else knew, but she just specifically didn't want me to know. I mean, I just think that it could have ended a lot differently. It could have at least ended on mutual or good terms, but Debbie's crazy and they can't do anything because I'm not mentioning real names, so they can't really say anything. But honestly, as we were getting older, so this was in year 9, I felt that I was outgrowing her. In year 10, it was like me and Debbie kept arguing. We were just non-stop arguing. It was ridiculous. I was really not going through a good time in year 10. I was just like, bro, this girl is just really getting on my nerves. Like, can she just leave me alone? Our problem was that we were both good friends with Anna. Because obviously, me and Anna were a lot closer than Anna and Debbie and I. Me and Anna were the closer friends. The thing is, with me and Anna, whenever any of us would get into an argument, if, say, Debbie and Anna got into an argument, I wouldn't pick sides. And if Debbie and I got into an argument, Anna wouldn't pick sides. But when me and Anna would get into an argument, Debbie would always pick a side, and she would always pick Anna's side, even if Anna was wrong or if I was right, whatever. Whatever it was, she would always pick a side, and that's not what you're supposed to do if you're in a trio. You stay impartial and you try and sort things out between both friends. She never used to do that. She used to pick sides to make things worse. And I think that's one of the many reasons why I felt like I was outgrowing her, because I was just like, we're on two completely different mentalities and I can't take it anymore. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of time. I don't like fighting. I don't like drama. I don't like you. Leave me alone. That's what it was. That's as transparent as I can make it. And it just got worse and worse and worse, really. And in the end, we got into an argument, stopped talking. Oh my God, guys, I remember I was telling Anna that, like, look at what she's doing. And Anna finally started to see that she was leaving me out of stuff. And I remember that me, Debbie and Anna were all walking in the playground, and then Anna was like, Debbie, Jihan thinks that you're hiding things from her. And Debbie goes, no, I'm not. And I kid you not, I just looked at her and I went, liar. And Anna went running off. Like, what a little instigator, Anna. Anna, I know you're listening. You're an instigator. She literally started it and ran off. And then she was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not telling. I was like, you got a piercing. And then you were like, don't tell Jihan. What do you mean you're not hiding anything? She was like, well, I didn't want to tell you because I knew you thought it would be a stupid idea. I was like, yeah, maybe I would think it's a stupid idea, but it's your body. I'm not going to sit there and call you stupid and call you names. Like, I don't care. It's not me. Like, it's whatever. And then I was like venting. I was like, you're not telling me anything. You're not being a very good friend. You're like, basically, I was just getting everything off my chest. This girl, the audacity Debbie had, she was looking at me, smiling in my face while I'm like trying to tell her what's wrong. And I'm like, why are you smiling? She goes, don't worry, Jihan, it's okay, just get it all off your chest. What? Like, bro, at that point, I wanted to swing for her, and I was just like, whatever. And then she started her side, and I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. And I just turned around and walked away. And I was like, I've reached my maximum. Like, why? I have no words. Why would you say, oh, it's okay, just get it all off your chest? Like, bro, why are you being so sarcastic? I'm trying to be mature and see if we can figure stuff out, because I don't want to end this on bad terms. Clearly, you have other ideas. You like the drama. She did like drama. I didn't only try to fix the friendship issue between me and Debbie. I then went after that argument and I went to Anna and Debbie and I said, guys, if there's anything about me that you don't like, please tell me and I'll change it if it means that we can be friends again. This girl, Debbie, pulls out a whole list of everything she thinks is wrong with me. Like, I understand if one of the things were like, oh, you're stubborn, whatever, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll try and ease up and whatever. No, I don't even... The amount of things that this girl was telling me was wrong with me. And I remember Anna got really annoyed and she just looked at Debbie like, bro, what are you saying? Why are you coming out with a whole list of things that are wrong with her? Anna looks at me and she goes, Jihan, you know what? There's nothing wrong with you. Don't change anything about you because we wouldn't be friends if you were any different. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, it kind of shows you the kind of person Debbie is, that she was like, oh yeah, this is wrong with you and this is wrong with you and this is wrong with you. Like, I was so shocked when I don't even think I said anything back because I was so shocked that I had no idea what to say to her. Oh, God, guys, honestly, I wish no one to have a friend like Debbie, honestly. Honestly. If you find yourself with a Debbie, run away. It's not worth it. It's going to drive you insane. Debbie and I were still hanging out because we were still friends with Anna. So we were hanging out with each other, the three of us, up until year 11. Year 11, I would go to Anna and Debbie, right, guys? This is a serious year. It's our GCSE year. We don't want any drama. Can we just agree? I know that not all of us get along, but can we just make it civil. Make it civil, and let's just have a drama-free year, okay? This is important for all of us. We need to do well in these exams. So yeah, they both agreed. Obviously, Debbie had other ideas. We started hanging out with this guy who I actually went to primary school with. Let's call him Damien. So we got Debbie and Damien now. Damien, oh my god, why can't I say the name properly? Debbie and Damien. Damien and I went to primary school together. We were together since nursery. That's how long we've known each other. We're basically childhood friends. When I tell you that Debbie managed to turn Damien against me, bro, honestly, this guy was such a simp. Like, I'm not even joking. He believed every single lie, because this is the thing. This is how Debbie used to make friends. She used to make friends by backchatting about me and victimizing herself. She and Damien used to bully me. Okay, big year 11, and she used to bully me. And I never used to say anything because I'm like, bro, a couple of months, and then I had plans to leave and go to college. I didn't realise that I was going to end up going back to sixth form and seeing her there every single day for the next year. But I at least expected Damien to be on my side, because I was like, this guy, we've grown up together, he must know me. He knows what I'm like. My sister and his sister are friends. Like, you know, you would just expect that his loyalty will be more on my side, but it wasn't. She was so good at manipulating and getting into his head that she managed to turn him against me. And I was absolutely mortified, because I was just like, we're supposed to be friends since nursery. Like, what is going on? He had a crush on her and he liked her. He liked Debbie. And that's why he was listening to every little drop of poison that was being put in his ear, because he liked her and he was like, oh, yeah, like a simp. And simping is dangerous, man. Simping is a dangerous game to fall into. Please don't simp. And if you simp safely. Because Damien literally threw away years of friendship for a girl who ended up playing him. And she led him on. So if you're going to simp, make sure you do it safely, because otherwise you're going to end up with a broken heart and no relationship. So make sure you're careful with it. Year 11 was difficult because, oh God, guys, I can't even tell you what I went through. They were both bullying me. Debbie bought these, you know, these small cans of Pringles. And there was 4 of us now in the group. There was Anna, Debbie, Damien, and me, all in this friendship. So there were 4 of us. Debbie bought 4 small cans of these Pringles, right? She takes one out, she gives it to Anna. She says, I know you want one, so here. She takes one out, she goes, this is for me. She has 2 left. So I'm over here assuming, oh, we're not friends, but it's very nice of her to, you know, get me Pringles and get Damien Pringles. You know, I'm not going to accept them, but, you know, it was nice of her to, you know, get me some. Bro, tell me why this girl takes both Pringles out, gives them to Damien, and goes, I knew you'd be extra hungry, so I bought you 2. And she said it while looking at me. And I'm like, bro, I didn't want the Pringles anyway, but that is so rude. Like, that's not, there's, like, what is that? What kind of manners is that? What kind of farm were you brought up on? You don't have to like someone. I don't have to like you. Yeah, I still offered you stuff. Like, it was very subtle bullying, but it was bullying because it was every day and it was all the time. And bro, when I tell you, this girl literally, like, she was very toxic. She was very toxic. And she was an excellent manipulator because she always victimized herself. And don't get me started on her siblings, bro. She has a sister, and her sister was literally bullying me because her sister didn't like me. Her sister was a couple of years younger than me, and I know it sounds like, whoa, like you're getting bullied by youngers. Yeah, I was getting bullied, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. I was getting bullied, and do you know why I was getting bullied? Because I allowed her to bully me, because I knew that this is now in sixth form, by the way, that she's bullying me properly. I'm now in sixth form, and I know that this girl is in year 11. What I don't want to happen is that I retaliate and stand up for myself, and then Debbie's little sister goes and complains, and then I get in trouble because I should know better because I'm older. That's why Debbie's sister literally bullied me for about 2 years, and it wasn't like physical bullying. It was literally like she would comment stuff every time I would walk past her. And in sixth form, my form class was right next to hers. There's only so much that I could have taken. As it was, I was already having a hard time with my sixth form teacher, with one of my sixth form teachers. So there was only so much I could get. And my grandma was in hospital. She was in and out of hospital. This was the year that my grandma passed away. It was really hard on me. Like, there's only so much that I could take before I was about to explode. And me and Debbie weren't talking when it got to sixth form. And I did say to Anna, which kind of maybe was not a good thing for me to say, but I said it. I was like, I'm not happy about the fact that I'm coming to sixth form because I didn't want to come back to sixth form, but if you're gonna keep hanging out with Debbie, I'm not gonna hang around with you. Like, I'm not gonna stop you from hanging out with her, but I'm just gonna find friends on my own. As it was, Debbie thought that I wasn't gonna go, whatever, I don't know what her thought process was. I don't really want to jump into her mind, but Debbie picked other options, course options, so she had a completely different timetable to us. Me and Anna got into the same form class in sixth form. And when Debbie found out, she was not happy. Now, keep in mind that Debbie and Anna were in the same form class from year 7 to year 11. And me and Anna were never in the same form class. It was really good. Like, I was excited to be in the same form class as Anna. And then we had the teacher who would bully me. She was our form tutor. And I ended up moving form classes, and that's when I moved to the form class next to Debbie's sister, and I didn't know that was Debbie's sister's form class. Otherwise, whatever. I just assumed I'm just going to ignore her. Debbie's sister will ignore me. That never happened. She was always commenting, always saying stuff, really just being annoying, and she was doing it for 2 years. Imagine someone saying something under their breath or commenting about you every time you walked past for 2 years, every single day. It was such a pain in the backside. Honestly, it was hard on me. It was hard, and I'm glad that I fought through it and came out a stronger person. I was like, you know what, I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna go and complain to Debbie's sister. Let's call Debbie's sister Zoe. So I was gonna complain to Zoe's head of year, and then I was like, you know what? Let me not do that. Let me go to Debbie and tell Debbie that her sister is doing this and see if Debbie can talk to her. So I went to Debbie with Anna and I was like, look, I know that we're not friends. I know that we don't talk. So you know that I'm coming to you and it's something like serious. I just want to let you know that your sister Zoe is constantly doing this and it's really annoying me. She's been doing it for the past 2 years. I've not said anything, but it's really annoying me now. And I need you to tell her to stop and talk to her. Otherwise, I'm going to go straight to her head of year and report her. Do you guys know what Debbie said? This girl turned around and went, oh, honestly, I can't do anything about it. It's her personality. Pardon? What? Guys, if someone ever came to me and complained about my sister and said that, I would be like, look, I apologize that she's been treating you like that. I will speak to her, I'll ask her what's going on and we'll sort this out. I wouldn't turn around and be like, oh, it's her personality. Like, do you guys see what kind of person Debbie is? I mean, bro, the whole family is crazy. Honestly, when Debbie's brother came, he has a staring problem. Every time he sees me, staring, dirty looks. Like, bro, I have not been friends with your sister for like, what was it? Year 11, 12, 13, first year. So 4 years. It's been 4 years. Friendship is dead. It's been dead for 4 years, and you're still like, did I impact your life that much that 4 years later you're still giving me dirty looks and staring at me? Like, what's going on? Debbie didn't do anything. Actually, no. Debbie did. I will give her that. Debbie did speak to her sister. Next day I walk into form. Zoe literally, she goes, "Or you, why are you complaining about me to my sister?" I I just went into my class. I was like, I am not fighting this girl. I do not have the energy, nor do I have the time. Went back to Debbie and I was like, look, when I went to Debbie, actually, this is what I was told. I called Debbie's name. I was like, Debbie. She rolled her eyes at me. She rolled her eyes and she was like, yes, like with a smile. And I was like, I know that you spoke to her, but now this is what she said. She's turned around and she's like, why are you complaining about me to my sister? Can you tell her to stop, because this is the last time and I'm going to go and complain. She was like, you know what, just go and complain about her. I was like, huh? I was so surprised. I was like, I would never let it escalate to someone complaining to my sister's head of year. I would sort it out, and I'd make sure that I sort it out, and I'd make sure I'd apologise to the person. I was like, so you're okay with me reporting your sister and she could potentially get into trouble? Debbie was like, yeah, that's fine. Seriously, I was so shocked. I was speechless. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go now and complain about her. And she was like, okay, that's fine with me. I was like, all right. I was like, okay. Went straight to Zoe's head of year, complained about her. Zoe's head of year was really good. She called Zoe in and she spoke to her. Obviously, Zoe denied it because she was a little scaredy cat and she didn't want to own up to her own actions. And after that, it got worse again. She started again, wasn't listening. Went back to Zoe's head of year because obviously Debbie wasn't going to do anything about it. Went back to Zoe's head of year, spoke to her again. Later on, Zoe's head of year caught me in the playground and she admitted it. I managed to get her to confess. She did admit it, and did tell her that if she continued to do any of that, and if she continued to go near you or talk to you or do any of the sort that she was doing before, I will get the police involved for harassment. And I was like, oh my, do you know what, guys? I was so happy. I was like, great. I was like, fantastic. I'm happy. Finally, now my only problem is my teacher in sixth form. That's it. Only problem. That's it. But no, that wasn't. Because after I had left the sixth form, it was really hard. I told that in sixth form, me and Anna became friends with this girl called Tracy. Obviously, that's not her real name. Tracy, Anna, and we became friends instantly, hanging out, besties, whatever. Tracy was very insecure in herself, very low self-esteem, very anxious, very emotional. And me and Anna managed to get her to be really confident in herself, give her a confidence boost. You know, we made her love herself. And me and Anna were like, yeah, like, this is great. Like, look at what we're doing. Like, we're giving her confidence, and it's so nice to see her more comfortable in her own skin. That came to bite us in the butt, because what I found was that although Tracy was lovely, she was two-faced, because she essentially caused a massive fight between me and me and Anna didn't speak to each other for a year. And I'm going to get onto that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Tracy was a horrible friend and she was bad. She was nice, okay? She was good. She was really nice. And at one point, I felt like I was closer to Tracy than I was to Anna. And I feel like that was because with everything with my grandma going on, Tracy had something similar going on with her grandma. So we had that common thing, and I feel like that brought us closer together. Bro, I don't know what happened. I decided that I'm gonna leave sixth form because I was my health was really going downhill with the way my teacher was treating me, and I spoke to Anna and Tracy and I was like, guys, I think I'm gonna leave. I'm thinking of leaving because I can't take it. They were like, whatever makes you happy, like we're gonna support you, it's okay, whatever. And I was like, thank you. I was like, I appreciate that. I'm gonna need my friends because moving from a sixth form to a college, okay, now my sixth form only had 1,500 people in it. The college I was going to had almost 10,000 people. So you could just imagine how much bigger it was. And I had anxiety as well. So it wasn't going to be an easy move. I found it extremely hard because I felt that my friends were moving away from me. Because I did tell Anna and Tracy that, look, guys, I want you guys to get closer because I knew, not so much for Tracy, I didn't care about Tracy, but I cared about Anna because me and Anna were friends from like year 7, year 8, and I knew that being friends with someone and hanging out with them every day and then suddenly they're not there anymore, I knew it was going to be hard on Anna when I moved. So I really wanted Anna and Tracy to get closer for Anna's sake because I didn't want me moving to college to be really hard on Anna. I mean, bro, that came to bite me in the butt because next thing I knew, these girls were inviting each other out to each other's houses in front of me and then hitting me with the, oh, we're going to Anna's house after school. You can come if you want. I was like, no, because that's not really an invite. I just felt like they were inviting me because I was standing there. I was like, no, it's okay. Obviously, part of me was happy that, yeah, they're getting closer. But I was like, bro, we've got like 3-4 months left before I leave. And I said, guys, we've got 3 months left before I leave. Let's try and hang out as much as possible and, use the time well. Like, let's hang out, let's spend time with each other because I don't know what my timetable is going to be like when I leave. They were like, yeah. And then suddenly they're hitting me with the, oh, we're going here. You can come if you want. Or they would invite each other in front of me and then not even bother asking me. And I'd like be like, whatever, I'm hurt. I'm going to go cry at home. But I know I didn't really cry, guys. It's not that deep. But I was hurt because I was like, they're like my only friends. So it was difficult. It was hard. Next thing I know, finished sixth form. The first year of sixth form, and we went on summer holidays early because in my school we finished in I think we finished in April, and summer holidays in the UK usually start in July. And so Anna was actually saying, are you going away this year? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And she was like, great, so we can hang out this summer and we can spend as much time together before we start college. Bro, do you lot think that I got an invite out? No, I didn't get anything. I didn't even get any messages. None of them were texting me. None of them were calling me. I know you're probably thinking, well, why didn't I just do it first? But seriously, like the way I was feeling pretty left out and pushed out. Like I didn't want to make the first move because I felt like I was unwanted and I didn't want to force a hangout thing and then feel like I wasn't supposed to be there, I mean, I don't think Anna knows this, but that year, I did give them a deadline to text me, and then I was like, if they don't text me by this day, I'm gonna block them because, I was seeing on their Snapchat stories that they were hanging out and they were calling each other sister, and I was like, bro, I feel really left out, and I'm moving to college and whatever, and it was really, really tough on me because I felt like I had no one, and I became friends with Rada in sixth form as well. You guys might know Rada. Became friends with her, but we weren't as close as we are now. back then. So that's unfortunate because we didn't really talk a lot. But that's where I first like properly became friends with Rada, was in sixth form, because we were in the same form class before I moved forms. So that was nice. I love Rada, man. She's great. I just think that with everything that happened, I thought that Anna and Tracy would be there because, you know, I needed them, but they weren't. And when I tell you that I didn't speak to anyone the entire summer, and then August was the results month, so we had to go collect our A-level results, and a couple of days before that, Rada texted me, or she called me or something, and this is where me and Rada first started like really becoming friends. And I was like, honest, she asked me like, how's Anna and how's Tracy? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, wait, what? And I was like, I don't know. They've not contacted me. Because even though I did block them, I didn't block their numbers. So they could have texted me and phoned me. So I was like, yeah, they hadn't. She goes, oh my God, I didn't realize, like, if I had known, then I would have, you know, I would have called you more and texted you more. I just assumed that you had them. So that's why I didn't really message you that much. I was like, honestly, it's fine. It's fine. I was hurt, but not anymore. It's all right. So we arranged, me and Rada met up with my sister on results day. When I tell you, Anna, Tracy, and Debbie all walked together, walked straight past me. They saw me, walked straight past me, and went into the sixth form building to collect the results. And that's when it was confirmed that we were no longer friends, because I was like, bro, that was so frosty. It was when my sister, because obviously my little sister was with me, and she saw it and she was like, oh my God, like, why did they just do that? And my sister knew the reason. And I was like, well, I told you, because this is what's happened. And then I moved to college. That was hard because I didn't know anyone there. So that was really, really tough. And I had no one at the time. I had no friends. I needed my friends and they weren't there. And me and Anna hadn't spoken for the entire year. And what happened was Tracy was kind of making things worse. Now, you guys know that I blocked them on social media, but I didn't block their phone numbers and stuff, so they could still text and call me. They went into class, and when the teacher asked about me, Tracy was like, oh, she changed her number, and we don't know, she cut us off. And Anna told me that she wasn't sure if I had changed my number, but she just agreed, right? I then found out, because obviously I was in contact with some people that were still going to sixth form, and they were in the class and they told me that, oh, this is what was said, apparently you changed your number. And I had people calling me and asking me if I changed my number, and I'm like, I've had this number since I was 13, like, why would I change my number? And then they were like, oh, it's because Anna and Tracy said that you changed your number because you're not friends. And I'm like, bro, it's not that deep. Like, if we're not friends, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go changing my number. Like, what? So that was really bad because me and Anna didn't speak for the entire year. So that was fun, you know? I mean, in all honesty, yeah, it was hard. It was a tough year. I had no friends, whatever, but I became incredibly independent. So independent, in fact. Before, when I was in sixth form, I couldn't even go to the toilet on my own. But when I moved to college, because obviously I didn't know anyone there, I was too scared to talk to people, I was too scared to ask. I didn't ask where the toilets were in college for maybe a couple of months until I felt comfortable enough. And then I asked one of the girls, like, where's the toilets? And she was like, oh, there's toilets on every floor. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Can you show me where they are? And then she showed me. It was... oh, bro, it was quite an experience. I don't know what else to tell you guys. It was an experience. And then, obviously, I continued doing my YouTube channel and everything, continued uploading videos. Then I put up a really shady video. And that's where people started commenting. One of Anna's friends were like, oh, like basically posting hate and trying to fight me in the comments. And then I was like, oh, you're your comment's gone straight into my bank account, and then she deleted her comment. But it was like, despite everything, they told people that I cut them off. And I was like, why would I cut them off? I'm the one moving to a place where no one knows me and I don't know anyone. Why would I cut off my friends when I would need them? I don't know, guys. I don't know. And then me and Rada became closer and closer, and now we're like sisters. But it was tough. It was good though, because, you know, there was no drama, so I could sleep well at night and I only had to worry about myself. But it was quite lonely. But sometimes you need to experience loneliness to really figure out your worth. Then I started to apply to universities, and I ended up going to the same university as Anna. And obviously at the time when we're not talking, that's a bit like, oh great, now I'm going to see this girl again. But the way me and Anna started talking again was kind of, it was my mum's fault, man. My mum also has a friend called Anna, and she was meeting her friend Anna, and she texted who she thought was her friend Anna, asking her, like, hey, where are you? And then she left a voicemail, not realising that she accidentally texted my friend Anna, who I wasn't talking to. That caused, like, what? It caused major confusion. Because then Anna, my friend, then texted my mum back saying, who is this? So my mum calls me and she goes, Jahan, is she playing a trick on me? Like, why did Anna tell me, like, why did she ask me who I was? So I go, wait, what? Let me see. And I already had a feeling that my mum texted the wrong Anna. And when I looked at the number, I was like, oh my God, I recognize that number. That's my Anna. And I look at my mum. I was like, Mum, that's my Anna. And she's like, oh. And I was like, yeah. So my mum and my friend Anna started texting each other. And she was like, oh, how's Jihan? And like, you know, can I have her number again? And because my mum was like, oh, you should text her, like, whatever. Guys, Anna then texted me. And bear in mind, this is after a year that we haven't been talking to each other. Anna texted me. She was like, hi, whatever. I don't really remember the text message that well, and I'm not going to read it because that's private. But we were like talking. I asked her what uni she was thinking of going to, and then she told me, and I was like, oh, no way, I'm going there. Ha 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 ha. Obviously, it was a bit awkward for me because I was like, bro, we haven't spoken in a year and now we're going to suddenly start seeing each other at uni. Like, that's going to be a bit odd and a bit orcs, but she was like, oh, well, maybe we can like FaceTime and then do the enrollment stuff together. And I was like, yeah, sure. Because I wasn't going to say no, because otherwise, like, imagine I said no and then we ended up seeing each other at uni. Like, that would have been a bit awkward and weird, and I didn't want that. I was like, let's just keep it civil. Later on that night, Anna sent me, like, this massive paragraph, kind of explaining how she felt, saying that, like, it was really hard on her as well because she thought that I pushed her out and whatever. And I was like, we have a lot to talk about and we'll talk about it soon. Because I didn't want to do everything there and then over text or over phone. I was like, we need a bit of time. I don't want to just sort it out quickly. That sounded really posh. I don't want to sort it out like there and then properly. I want to give us a bit of time, okay? We're just started talking again. It's tough on both of us. It's not easy for both of us. We both have our own sides that we need to get out and in the open. So I was like, we have a lot of things to discuss and we'll talk about it soon. And yeah. And then I think a couple of days later, or maybe a day or two later, she was like, hey, the enrollment stuff is open. Do you want to FaceTime and we can enroll together? And I was like, yeah, sure. I can't lie to you. I was like, I really don't want to FaceTime because this is going to be so awkward for me. But suddenly Anna started FaceTiming me. So I was like, okay. So I picked it up. When I tell you guys, we acted like nothing happened. Like Anna, props to her, she didn't make it awkward. Like I thought it was going to be proper awkward, proper weird.
really, like, we both just want the phone call to end, but it didn't. She was talking to me like nothing happened. And because I was scared of what was gonna happen, I was kind of like holding back. But yeah, we enrolled together, and then that was it. That was the end of the phone call. And then we called again, maybe a week or a couple of days later, I don't remember. And I was like, right. So we had like a bit of a laugh. And then I was like, okay, I think we've got some things that we need to talk about. Oh God, I'm just like, I'm laughing because I remember both of our facial expressions, like, and I was like, oh God, like, oh, I really don't want to bring this up. And I was like, I don't want to talk about it either, but I feel like we have to sort this out. We have to talk about it and find out what happened and what went wrong. We came to the conclusion that Tracy was a big hand in us not talking. To us, it kind of looks like Tracy was a little bit jealous of mine and Anna's friendship, and Anna said that she would that Tracy would tell Anna, she would talk her out of a lot of stuff. Anna was like, I would always ask, like, oh, let's invite Jihan, and then Tracy was always like, oh no, like, you know, she's upset her grandma just passed away, like, she's gonna say no, let's just not invite her. So obviously that was a bit, that's where we figured out that stuff kind of went south, and we managed to work it out, and now we're friends again, so that's really, really cool. And I feel like that's a mature friendship, and I would advise that even if you experience a situation similar to this, definitely make sure that you talk about it, you work things out, and at least that way you both have your closure. You know, I was like, okay, well, at least now we know why. Because she didn't know why I wasn't talking to her. I didn't know why they had just said that I'd cut them off. Even though from my side, I was like, because I did say to Anna, why would I cut you off when I'm moving to college? Like, that's when I would need you guys the most. I need my friends around me. Why would I just cut you off? It doesn't make sense. We worked things out. Me and Anna had, like, that was probably our worst argument ever. Our worst argument ever, because usually we would argue a lot, but it would be like over really petty things. And this was a argument, because most of our arguments we wouldn't talk to each other for maybe a couple of days to a week. But this one we didn't speak to each other for a year, and we hadn't seen each other for a year. So that in itself was pretty like, it was pretty big. And I remember actually me and Anna argued because we had a boy in my class. I'm not going to say his name, obviously, for keep his life private. He does do music though, so he might know who he is. But he asked me for a highlighter, and I said okay because we were partners in English class. So I was like, yeah, sure, you can have a highlighter. And then Anna was like, oh, can I have a highlighter? And then I jokingly was like, no, you can't, but she took it the wrong way, and then we got into an argument over highlighters.
I remember this argument got so bad, literally over highlighters, guys, just because I jokingly told her that she couldn't have a highlighter. Guys, we were in this English class, but our normal classroom was being used for something else, so we got put into a temporary classroom and we got to sit wherever we wanted. And everyone in the school, like all the teachers, knew that me and Anna were really good friends. And so they knew that something was wrong the minute Anna sat on one side of the class and I sat on the other. That's when they knew that, okay, well, obviously there's something going on here. We don't know what it is, but it's weird that these girls who are always together are not currently sitting together. Anyway, the teacher starts her lesson and we're doing poetry. The teacher decides to do an activity that involves like the whole class. So she goes, okay guys, this is the poem that we're reading today. What we're going to do is we're going to read through it, and then one person is going to ask a question and nominate someone else to answer it. And then when that person answers it, they're going to nominate someone else to answer the question that they have. That's what we were doing. So this girl starts off asking the question and she picks Anna. Now, everyone in class kind of has an idea that we're not on good terms, we're not talking. So Anna answers the question and then she goes, right, my question is, why was the grass wet? I don't remember what the poem is about, but I remember that one line because, I don't know, it started this whole thing. So Anna goes, why was the grass wet? So at this point, me and the entire class are just assuming that she's not going to pick me to answer this question because we're not talking to each other. Anna decides to go, Jihan. And when I tell you that, everyone who knew that we were not talking to each other looked at me and they were like, but we thought that you guys weren't talking. And I was like, yeah, so did I. But, you know, like, do I answer it? And then my teacher was like, Jihan, do you want to answer the question? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I stand up and I'm like, I think the grass was wet because it was raining before. And then Anna goes, well, how do you know it was raining? It doesn't say it was raining. And it was quite hostile. And then I said, with quite a hostile tone, yeah, well, maybe if you read between the lines, you could figure out that it could have been raining beforehand. And it went on for a good couple of minutes and the entire class was silent, just watching us have this very subtle argument about this one line in the poem. So stupid, honestly. Anyway, my teacher catches on that, you know, we're no longer talking about the poem. This is actually like a personal, where we're just being rude to each other at this point. And the teacher goes, okay, girls, well, I think that's enough for this activity. Let's move on. Guys, honestly, thinking about it now, that entire situation was out of a film. The good thing about these arguments is that arguments that in the moment they like were really serious and like you didn't like that person, whatever. But years or even months after, weeks after, you look back at the argument and it's like, bro, it wasn't even that deep. Like, literally, the argument started because Anna asked me if she could borrow my highlighters and I said no. And before I could say, oh my God, I'm joking, like here, Anna was like, oh, so you give it to him but you won't give it to me. And then she like walked off. So honestly, they are quite funny. I mean, we've had a lot more arguments back in secondary school, but I don't really remember. Yeah, I don't really remember them.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, when I moved to college, I went to pick my sister up from the secondary school that Debbie and her sister and brother went to as well. And I remember once I went to pick up my sister from school because my sister was having a bit of a hard time and I was like, she was a bit worried that something might happen to her outside of school. So I was like, I'll come and meet you, I'll come pick you up, nothing will happen to you, don't worry, big sister's here, whatever. I went and I didn't even see Debbie and Zoe. I didn't see them. Honest to God, I didn't see them. They walked past me. Zoe looks me in my face and I don't even clock on at this point that she's seen me because I didn't see them. And then she starts burst out laughing. Next thing I know, I'm on my Instagram getting spammed with these horrible, horrible hate comments. And bro, this is how you know the guy is so dumb. He didn't even use like a fake account. Debbie's brother started sending hate on my Instagram using his account that had his first and second name in it. Do you know how stupid that is? Like, why would you, like, at least, if you're going to send hate, at least be smart about it and use a fake account so that no one knows who you are. And then he got his cousins involved as they started sending me hate. So what I did is I screenshot the whole thing because he started sending hate on my friends who also commented on my Instagram. So I told my friends, don't reply to it. I'm going to screenshot it all, which I did. I screenshot the whole lot, emailed those screenshots to his head of year and was like, this is what's going on. Please sort it out. I don't even go to the school anymore. It's been a year since I've left and they're still continuing it. please can you sort this out, otherwise I'm going to have to take it further to the police. And guess who suddenly blocked me on all of their Instagram's accounts and started deleting all of their comments? Guys, honestly, it was so weird. I just think that some friendships are put in your life purely to teach you lessons and to teach you the kind of friends that you shouldn't have. Don't have a friend like Debbie. Debbie is not a good friend to have. Debbie made friends in sixth form, actually even in year 11, because when we picked our options in year 11, she thought that if she picked one option the same as me and Anna, she would be in our half, but she wasn't. Debbie was in the other half, so we didn't have her at all in any of our classes. Me and Anna in year 10 and year 11 had the exact same timetable, so that was really, really cool, because what best friends wouldn't want to have the same classes every single day? Like, that's so cool. Literally goals. But yeah, so Debbie thought that if she picked the same lesson as us, one same option as us, she would at least be in our class, which wasn't the case. So obviously when she found out that she wasn't going to be in the same class as us, she obviously needed to make friends of her own. And that's why she thought, oh, let me just talk badly and victimize myself by talking badly about Jahan so that people feel sorry for me. Like, she didn't care that people were friends with her out of pity, which I think is kind of sad, to be honest. But I mean, if you're going to make friends, then you got to do what you got to do, even if you got to make desperate moves, I guess. I have really great friends now. I mean, during that year, I went to see a boy band called Pretty Much, and I got to go to one of their concerts. I made loads of new friends, and I'm still in contact with those friends. I made so many international friends, guys. Like, although I had no friends, I was making so many friends in the year that I was at college. It was insane, and I'm forever grateful for those people. Honestly, some of my best friends, Eleni, Gower, honestly, they're the best. They are amazing, and I love them to bits. They're incredible. And then people like Rada, Anna, Mickey, like, they're great people, and I absolutely love them. They're just great to have around. You know, you don't have to have a lot of friends, and I know that being popular might be your priority, but your popularity isn't going to follow you around for long. I couldn't be more happier with the people that I'm surrounded with now. Obviously, doing what I'm doing YouTube, doing social media, it's really hard to find genuine people, and I'm grateful that I have found genuine people who care about me and who are around me. So that's the end of this podcast, guys. I hope you guys learned something new. I hope I filled you in some tea, and I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. I know this is quite a long podcast, but I do hope you enjoyed it. Some friendships suck, but it's fine, you know? You're gonna have good and bad friendships, and you just gotta learn that when you meet someone who's a great friend, that you hold on to them and you treat them well, because there aren't a lot of good people left in the world. So I hope you did enjoy the podcast, guys. If you did, then give it a thumbs up if you can on the platform that it's on. I know this is going to be on YouTube, so do give it a thumbs up. I do love talking. I can talk for hours and hours. I have so many more friendship stories that I could tell you guys, but my battery's low on my iPad, so I don't have long. It's on 10%. Hopefully I'll do another podcast in the future on friendships and stuff. I have got more ideas, and if you've got any topics that you want me to cover, then definitely let me know. My social media is YouTube, which is just my name, JeeHan, N for November, and my Instagram is myname.m, M for mother. So you can catch me on there, or you can comment on my YouTube channel. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing morning, night, evening, afternoon, all day, wherever you are in the world. And I hope to catch you guys when I do my next podcast. Bye, guys.